Good morning, everybody. A lot to talk about this morning, and we've got to talk about it quickly because I'm moving today. So let's get right into the past couple of days, what's going on today, and what to expect going forward. First off, job numbers come out at 8:30 this morning. If job numbers go up, the market will go down. If job numbers go down, the market will go up. So let's see, the market was up. Holy shit, job numbers must have been great because the SPY is getting rocked this morning, which I was going to predict, but I was not going to predict 402 on the SPY. So job numbers must have came in extremely strong. Let's talk about what's going on in the market because there's a lot to grasp, and I will get to the SPY ranges. So although you're sitting the SPY at 402 this morning, you're saying, holy shit, how low can it go? How high can it go? I'm going to share that. So first, the Fed came out last week, and they kind of pivoted, and they sounded more dovish, and we have 50 basis point rate hike priced into December. And then if you look at the 2-year, the 10-year, and the U.S. dollar, you can see
261,000 in the rearview mirror, pretty much a
talking about the jobs right now.
Private payrolls, well, they moved to 221,000. And if you look at the combined revision of the last 2 months, we subtracted 23,000. Unemployment rate, 3.7 as expected, and it's in the rearview mirror. Don't see a revision as of this point. Okay, revision 284,000 the last non-farm, so 263 is the new benchmark. Average hourly earnings on a month-over-month basis. All right, buckle up. This is a biggie. Up 0.6%. Up 0.6. That equals the high water mark from October of 2021. So that is a strong number. And wages year over year, 5.1%. Now, keep in mind, the 4.7 last month
30%
was the lowest
higher.
since
All right,
August,
let's get rid of this dude so I can tell everybody what's going on. Let's just remove him. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, I didn't know the jobs number expected, but the jobs number expected was 200,000. We came in at 263,000. What does that tell everybody? Strong economy. Strong economy. What does the Fed have to do? They have to continue to be hawkish. So although there was sort of a pivot a couple of days ago, what was it? Wednesday, when Powell spoke at 1:30, non-believer. Now be careful because all the buying that you saw last, what was it? Not yesterday, the day before yesterday, 116 million on the SPY. Good volume, good buying volume. However, me, apprehensive. I will be in and out of a trade. Of course, yesterday, what was I in? SPY puts, right? SPY puts. When did my puts expire? Yesterday. I've got to learn to buy out 3 days. So that's the first suggestion. This is about learning and providing information. Learning. Always buy yourself enough time. Buy yourself an extra day if you're playing this SPY. Buy yourself an extra 2 days. If you're playing an option on DraftKings, Disney, Roku, Tesla, whatever it is, buy yourself the extra week. Yes, we are all looking for instant gratification. We're looking for it to be right today, instantaneously. I want to buy. I want it to go up. But understand, you've got to give yourself some more time. My SPY puts were $407 puts. I was in for like 40-something cents, 45 cents. Imagine today. Yes, it would have cost me probably $1.50 more. So we're talking about $2, but the return would be 400% on open. So all I have to do is buy myself an extra day or two. So that is the first suggestion. And we're going to talk about the SPY ranges because just because it flushed pre-market doesn't mean it's going to continue to flush all day. I will talk about the ranges. But next, railroad strike averted. What happened? Congress voted to basically not allow the 4 unions that were still on strike to continue their strike. All they wanted is 7 days of medical leave, of paid sick days. They're getting, I think they get 1, possibly 0. Biden will sign that today. It will save the U.S. a ton of money. Next, China. China's reducing their COVID zero tolerance policy, but they haven't been clear. That's why Japan's stock market was down. That's why the Hang Seng was down. But then we could say, who believes China? Not me, not ever. So that's a wait and see. I would stay away from Chinese stocks right now. I would rather play U.S. stocks, whether you're bullish or bearish. It's a better play right now. Next, interest rates. So let's just talk about the inversion in the yield curve. And we can talk about, let's just go into bear markets real quick before I talk about interest rates, just to give you guys an overall synopsis of what's going on. And I'll slow it down. In bear markets, our current bear market, if you think it's over, which it isn't as of this morning, but if you think the bear market's over, we're only 26% from the all-time highs. 26%, which would make this the most shallow bear market ever. Meaning most bear markets, you lose 42, 46, 38. We were down 26% from the highs. Okay. Understand, in every bear market in history, the VIX, which judges volatility, right? The VIX has always crossed over 45. Well, it hasn't crossed over 45 in this bear market. So what is that telling me? I still think we're heading into recession next year. I'm going to bring up the inverse yield curves. So I mentioned the yield curves. As the yield curves go down, it makes it easier to invest in our market. So let's look at the 10-year. The 10-year is trading at 3.51. Let's remember the 10-year was 4.30. It's down 80 basis points. So when we've had this bit of a bullish run, if you think the yield curve is going to continue to go down, then you're like, okay, yes, the market can continue to be bullish. But if we look at the 2-year yield curve, which just spiked this morning, what a shocker. The 2-year is at 4.20. Now it's at 4.41. It just shot up 21 basis points. So no wonder the market dropped ridiculously. The yield curve shot up. What does that mean? It means it's more expensive for businesses to borrow money. It's more expensive for people to borrow money. And it's more expensive for investors to borrow money. Understand there's $12 billion worth of assets in the market that is marginalized, that is based on borrowing money to invest in our market. Okay, so yes, we saw the SPY go up 3% a couple of days ago. We even hit 410 yesterday. I'm going to talk about the SPY ranges. Let me just pull up the SPY real quick. Let me add this to the stream. Oh, there we go. That worked. All right, so let's go back, man. I was going to tell you guys that there's a decent chance we were tracked back to 401.88. And where are we pre-market? 401.36. So understand, I have the 5-minute open. So obviously, let's get a little larger time span. Let's go for a 1-hour gap. All right, so we're sitting at 401. So where can we retract down to? Well, the baseline here, we gapped down here from support 402.5, which is where I figured we would be today. That was going to be my guess on the low end today. I was going to say, okay, we're sitting at 408. We saw 405 yesterday. Now, anybody that joined me yesterday morning, and I'll bring this up in a second, I said yesterday we would see 405. I said it. We were sitting at 409 pre-market, and I said, I think we're going to see 405, whether it's today or tomorrow being Thursday or Friday. We saw 405. So this morning, before the market just dumped when I came online, I was going to suggest we're going to see 402.50 because that has been support in the market. So I thought we were sitting at 406. We're going to see a 402. I knew exactly what I was doing today. However, with the SPY dropping and sitting at 401.70, and let's pull it up again because I can show you guys where you're going to look for support. If you find support in this area, great. If it goes lower, then understand it can go lower. So SPY, bring it up. Okay, so here we go. Next level of support under the 402.5. You got to go down. You're probably looking maybe around, where would we go? Maybe over here, maybe right here, 397, which makes sense because if you go under, let's talk about the ranges, okay? 397, major support, okay? If the SPY breaks 397, not today, but I'm saying next week, let's say CPI numbers come out or after that, 397 on the SPY. If it breaks it, we're going back to 390 or even 389, okay? Next level higher from 397, 401. Where are we sitting pre-market? 401, okay? Next level higher, which I mentioned, 405. Where did I say we were going to hit yesterday? 405. We were sitting at 409 pre-market. Next level higher, 409. So understand, if the market turns bullish for any reason, I expect it to reject 409. If the market turns bullish from when we open, you're looking for 405 to reject. If it passes 405, good chance we're headed back to 408, 409. If it rejects 405, then you could say to yourself, that's a top. If I get a double top, I can enter puts. Like Matt told me, I'm not entering Friday lotto puts. I'm going out 2-3 days. So again, SPY 409, under that 405, which was support, is going to be rejection in my opinion. Next level down, 401. Where are we sitting right now? 401.99. So they're trying to make it bounce off 401 pre-market. Again, not a lot of activity pre-market. Understand the majority of institutional money and big money comes in the first 14 minutes of the market day, meaning from 9:30 till 9:44 a.m. Then the rest of the day It's mostly retail, yes, institutions. But understand the big money, and we saw it yesterday, comes in very at the end of the day. So it's generally the last 5 or 10 minutes. And let me bring up yesterday's chart again. Let me see if I can share it. Boom. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Okay. So here's what we could see. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 minutes out, right? So we're about 15 minutes for close. 345 yesterday. We're pushing 408.50. Now understand volume was so light and we went down a whole point, meaning we went down 0.5% on the SPY in the market, a 0.5% move within 10 minutes of trading. So that's what I tell you. Big intensity in the beginning for volume, late in the day for volume. In between, there's a ton of market manipulation. So as I told Discord yesterday, I was like, listen, 1 point up on the SPY, 1 point down on the SPY, or on the S&P 100 points, 100 points. It doesn't matter because volume is so light. That's why we can day trade. We get in, we're like, okay, there's support. Even though it's like a 1 point range, it was support at 395. We get out at 396. We get inputs 397. We get out at 396. I'm only looking for a point. Now, if I had bought out longer, I would have done much better. So I've done that twice this week. Earlier in the week when the market was bullish, I had TQQQ calls, which are the triple bullish QQQs, right? And what did I do? I took 20%. I left 250% on the table. 250% on the table. Yes, that was the day the market exploded. And then what did I do yesterday? Again, my puts, I was so worried about moving. I didn't have an apartment yet. I'm moving today. What did I do? I got in at 45 cents. It went to 65. I'm still holding. 45 to 65 again. I'm still holding. 45. Now it drops down to like 30 something. I buy some more. What happens? It drops down to 30. I'm like, shoot, maybe I'm wrong. Let me get out. I'm stressed, waiting about my apartment. What happens literally 10 minutes later? Exactly what I thought. I could have got $75 per contract, made over 100%. So please, if you don't have focus, if you're stressed or worried about something else, don't trade. So those are 2 lessons today. Stressed, worried, mind is elsewhere. Don't trade, okay? And again, the other lesson is buy the extra time. You're buying SPY options. Don't buy 0 days till expiration. You're buying options today. You're playing a lottery play. Guess what? You could play the same lottery play. Look for movement today. Just buy out the extra week. You think Apple's going down to 140? Sure, it's a possibility. Don't put the extra stress and pressure on today. Buy the 140 puts, go out to next week. So let's talk about what I wanted to look at. I wanted to share something. I wanted to look at Disney. And then if you guys have any questions, please ask questions about any stocks you want to ask questions about, and I'll try and get to them. I mentioned Disney because I am so curious about where Disney is going right now. Because let me just tell you. So we saw this with Disney. Disney had earnings. It dropped. They spent over $1.5 billion losing on their streaming. So what could happen? It looks like it's going to rebound, right? It's rebounding. What sometimes happens, we saw it with Amazon and Google. It drops even lower. So I'm saying if the market could potentially drop down and there could be some downward pressure, let me check that out. Now, before I check out Disney, understand there is bullish sentiment in the market. Even with what happened today, most of the calls and most of the options that are open, they go out till just before CPI, and 70% of them are bullish positions just before CPI. So everybody's expecting a bullish run into CPI. Understand the options that expire after the CPI date, which is the second week of December. So you're going out 3rd week and 4th week of December. The volume is like this compared to like the Twin Towers, Empire State Building, compared to like a mini high rise. So understand most of the options are being played right before we get CPI. So there still could be a bullish market direction, even though we saw the market drop this morning. Understand, big money is buying. Now, again, with interest rates spiking this morning because jobs were strong, it makes sense. And today could be one of those days where the weak hands sell off and things of that nature, and then they can come attack us again on next week on Monday, and they can push it up. So me, I'm getting in and out of a trade. I want to buy myself more than enough time. So I talked about, I want to look at Disney, all of us together. So I'm just going to pull up Discord. Let me just add this to the stream. Okay, pull up Discord. So what do I do when I'm on Discord? First off, if you want to join our Discord, you get 7 free days. Look underneath the links below. So I'll go up here to the flows and algos room, and I will go to the bottom. And somebody looked at the flows for AMC. In case anybody likes AMC, look, everybody was buying put sweeps yesterday. So, I mean, it is what it is. So let's look at Disney. TR, I'm going to look at the big flow for Disney, which tells me all the biggest positions. Okay, that didn't work. So we'll tie net flow for Disney. I probably should have done this yesterday, but we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so let's open it up nice and big. What you can see is Disney's stock is up here. The price on puts is actually coming down a little. The price on calls is actually going up. This is actually somewhat of a bullish sign. There is some divergence. So whereas I thought I might want to get involved in some Disney puts, guess what? I'm not. I'm going to stay away from Disney puts. Why? Because big money just told me that the price of calls is going up and the price of puts is going down. So even though the price can come down a little. All right, so I see somebody asking a question. Let's look at NVIDIA. Okay, so let's look at NVIDIA together. Let me bring it up again. I'll give you the full screen. All right, let's go over to Discord, and we'll look at TR. I don't know if it matters to be capital. Look at the net flow for NVIDIA. All right, let's pull it up, and then we'll look at the big flow because that should have some big flow. All right, so what's going on? You can see the red line, most inverse. You can see the price for puts is going down. The price for calls is going up. The stock price is hesitating right here. Volume is pretty good. So yeah, NVIDIA is extremely bullish from this. Let's take a look at the algorithm, okay? So you'll type in TR, and we'll type in the algo flow for NVIDIA, and we'll see what comes up. And then we can also type in the big flow and see where big money is. All right, so here's the algo flow. The stock price is in yellow. The cost of calls is in green. As you can see, they're matching. Now, when you see a differential, say you see the stock price up here, algo flow here, usually it catches up or the stock price comes down. But since the algo flow is bullish, there's a good chance NVIDIA could, again, run. This is all information that was processed up until yesterday, okay? So understand, let's just take a look at float sum. Let's see where all the money is. Float sum, NVIDIA. Up until yesterday, I mean, that was, okay, there's no float sum. So we did that before the jobs numbers came out. So Home Depot, what are my thoughts on Crowd? Okay, thoughts on Crowd. Again, I know institutions have big positions as Crowd. So what I would do first, and as far as any of these stocks you guys are asking for, Crowd, NVIDIA, HD, Lowe's, Tesla, something to that extent, you have to understand, you have to watch the market first. Your stock, even if you like Crowd, is not going to shoot up if the market is struggling, and vice versa. If the market is exploding like it did a few days ago, there's not a chance that any of your stocks are going down. Even the piece of shit stocks were going up a few days ago because the market was ripping higher. That's when the SPY broke 400 and we went up to like 407 or 408 before close. So I will take a quick look at Crowd, and then we're going to talk about SPY ranges because I'm looking at the SPY and I thought it might bounce back, but CrowdStrike holding. So what I'm going to do is I go to the company, I'm going to the profile, and corporations, institutions own 72%. I thought it was bigger institutional ownership. So actually, yeah, Crowd could definitely go down a little more. Let me just take a look at the last 1 month, 2 months. Again, okay, so here's the thing at Crowd, okay? It looks just like what happened after Google and Amazon had earnings. What do we see? I don't have any paper to jot down to show it, so you're going to have to use my hand gestures, right? Earnings come, stock drops. What happens? Everybody's like, shit, that stock's off 27%. I'm going to buy it. It bottoms. It looks like it's going to rebound. It hesitates. It rebounds again, just like Disney, Google, Amazon. They all look the same. Then what sometimes happens, it drops even deeper. So it goes to a lower point than it was off the drop. So the fact that it would hit, what did it hit? 112 last week? 112, yeah, 112. And it's up to 124 right now. Yes, if the market sells off for a few days, there's a solid chance. And let's say a few days, let's say 2 days. Let's say today's a sell-off. Let's say Monday's a sell-off. There's a solid chance CrowdStrike could go back to the 112 range. It had support at 116. It had support at 116. This morning, it's at 120. So, I mean, yes, I would say rather than it going back to even today, I would think Crowd has a better chance of going to 116. Again, not one of the ones I follow. Somebody is asking about, yeah, we'll get to Johnny in a second. I'm just going to do this. All right, we'll do Tesla first. Hey, what's up, Tukey? Thanks, bro. Let's do Tesla first, okay? And we'll use Discord for Tesla, and then I'll look at the charts for Home Depot and Lowe's. So, because Tesla, I know will have a lot of action. So we'll go over to Discord. And again, Tukey's on Discord. Love's on Discord. Romeo's on Discord. We have everybody there to help you all. All right, so we'll do a little TR. We'll look at the flow sum for Tesla. It's not coming up. I hate that. Sometimes this thing doesn't work. Big flow, Tesla. Sometimes you have to do it the night before because all the information resets. And when it resets, it has nothing to go on, which upsets me. All right, so again, Tesla, if you look at it, again, the put premium, they're all going to look the same. Here's the thing. They're all going to look the same because everything happened before the market took a shit on itself this morning. The market took a shit on itself this morning due to the job numbers being exceedingly strong, people's income being exceedingly strong. So what that means is, although inflation seems to be coming down, if people keep spending money or like, oh, I'll pay more for this, I'll pay more for this, I'll pay for more of this because I'm making more money, then inflation and prices stay high. So the reason people thought inflation was coming down, because you look at gasoline. Gasoline's at its lowest price in the last 6 months, right? It's like $3.47. They're saying by Christmas, it could be under $3 a gallon. So yes, people are like, okay, interest rates going down, gasoline's going down, inflation's going down. The European Union said inflation's going down, that they see a turn in that. But again, to me, I'm like, that gets switched like that. Remember, inflation was going down midsummer, and then we had August numbers, and August numbers spiked, and the market reversed. So that is pretty crazy. All right, yeah, there are people making comments. If you want to join any of our Discord chat, any of our live chat, stuff like that, you get 7 free days. I don't have to push it. It's worth its weight in gold. I mean, all these other platforms charge $50 or $100. We offer the same white label service that you can type in big flows, option flows, golden sweeps, unusual activity, bullseye trades, all for free. You don't have to do anything. It's all there. So other people are paying $50. We're $34.99 after that. Plus, I give my market updates. Romeo, Love, Tukey, everybody gives alerts, so everybody sees things differently. So I mean, yeah, it's a win-win proposition. Yeah, okay. So Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm just gonna look this one on my phone because my movers are gonna be here in 8 minutes. So I've got to end this live stream in a couple minutes. But please, if you like me or like what I'm saying, please thumbs up and join me. Not Monday because I will have no internet. Yes, Carlos, no internet on Monday. Maybe I'll do it from my phone. So yeah, be back on Monday. Home Depot, probably off of the job numbers and the housing numbers. Home Depot went down. Let's just look at a 5-day chart. Yeah, so either Home Depot is going to fill the gap, same as CrowdStrike. Either Home Depot is going to fill the gap and it's going to hit 314, and it closed at 327, and it's at 322 this morning. So in my belief, it has another 8 points to go downward, okay? And that's the same with Disney and CrowdStrike and things like that. And I'm sure Lowe's is going to have a similar chart. So let's look at Lowe's as well. Lowe's company, Home Depot. Yep, off 2% this morning. Again, they're not just selling off. Now this one could go back to the 190 range. So, I mean, if the market gets ugly, again, just put it on your watch list. Lowe's is sitting at 215. It's down to 211 pre-market. Understand that if the market gets ugly for a week or something like that, which I don't think is going to happen, your downside, because it's always good to know what the goal you're shooting for is. So if you're in puts on these, I'm going to look for 195 on the downside. Again, I'm not saying I'm bearish or bullish on Lowe's or Home Depot. I'm just taking out what's happening this morning, what's happening with housing, what's happening with jobs, what's happening with interest rates, and the movement from pre-market down 2%, telling me that if the bear cycle is going to happen here, that Lowe's can go down to the 195 range, which is another 16 points from where we are, another 8%. So everything, in my opinion, from now to the end of the year, whether it's Disney that had terrible earnings, you have Lowe's, Home Depot, CrowdStrike, which had bad earnings, and understand institutions are buying in. They have 8% downside. That's what I said. The SPY has 8% downside. Now, if you want to be bullish about it and understand that most of the options that are out there are bullish, so we could see a dip and rip today. That's where big money is, a dip and rip. All big money is on the bullish side right now. So this is pretty much a shock what's happening pre-market. We know that there's market manipulation. So what could happen? Boom, it could shoot right back up. Again, if you want to risk it, you're either saying, well, the market fell to 390. Let's see where they love to buy the dips. So the SPY is sitting at, it's already back up to 402.50. So, I mean, they love to buy the dips. They're like pre-market activity less than 1%. They could actually fill that gap. Again, I would look for it to reject 405. 405 is going to be a seriously key number. If 405 turns into support today, we're going back to 408, 409 by maybe afternoon or by Monday. That would be your bull case scenario. 405. That's what you're looking for. Pre-market fall. Oh, it was based on nothing. Blah, blah, blah. I'm buying the market. That's what big money's saying. On the downside, you're going to say, okay, psychology. I want to sell off into the market. The market's down at 402 250 pre-market. Am I going to sell on open? No, I'm going to let it rebound. And when it rebounds to 405, 406, 407, that is when I'm going to sell all my shares because I just made an extra 2 or 3%. Makes sense. Psychology. All right, everybody, please join me Monday.